Hey guys, Al here, Vitalized Seed. So here was a comment on a YouTube video I had done. I believe that was the video explaining CEC or cation exchange capacity. And Jared Havens had said, I'd like you to go more into the weeds. You know, my soil's in northern Michigan, terribly low pH, low CEC. Doing soil tests in your videos are helping. Thank you, Jared, for the nice comment. So I figured let's do a video. Let's take a low CEC. Take a soil test that's low pH, and then of course we're going to have to make some assumptions here on the base saturation, since I don't actually have a soil test to review, and how I would step-by-step handle that. So we take a soil test, we got a low pH, let's say it's 4.8 to 5. So immediately we're going to want to add lime. Next step, we're going to obviously look at our base saturations. If we see that next we should look at our CEC. So we see that it's a CEC of 5. So we know it's a relatively low CEC, a lot of sand content. So we know we're going to have, a difficult time holding nutrients, because you're not going to have those exchange sites like you would on a more clay-based soil. You're also going to have, so high leachability, high erosion potential. You're not going to hold a lot of water because it's going to go through that sand very quickly. So what can we do? Well, we know we have to add lime, right? So we know we have lime, we know we have light soil. Now we're going to look at our base saturations, and let's assume that base saturation, it's a pretty good assumption, you're going to be probably low in both calcium and magnesium on that soil colloid. With that low pH, you're going to notice that your hydrogen is very high in the base saturation. So we want to get hydrogen out of there first and foremost, and that's why we want to use a good quality calcium carbonate or magnesium carbonate. Now, it's a sandy soil with a low magnesium base saturation. If you look at calcium as a molecule is about the size of my fist, let's say, and magnesium is maybe the size of the top of this chapstick. So you can see, maybe if I hold it like this, it'll be better, the size difference between the two. The reason that's important is, remember, soil, think of soil in like layers of paper. So if we have a whole bunch of calcium fists in between, there's a lot of porosity there. If we have a whole bunch of magnesium, those layers are going to be tighter together because you only have that much room versus the calcium. So we need both, and calcium is critically important. However, we want to make sure that our magnesium in relation to those base saturations is higher. So that's when you would use, if possible, a dolomite lime source or dolomitic limestone. A lot of times it's going to vary by region, but in my situation, I would highly recommend, or in this situation as we're reviewing this, I'd highly recommend making sure to add dolomite lime. It's going to be magnesium carbonate, so you're going to neutralize your pH, you're going to raise your base saturation of magnesium, you're going to lower your hydrogen on the soil colloid, which is going to help to neutralize that pH. So that would be my step-by-step from a chemical structure, kind of getting into the weeds of how I would handle that. And then, of course, we continue to monitor the calcium base saturation. We still want that to be north of 60%. But we might be doing that without altering pH. So what does that mean? So let's say you get everything where your pH is set, your magnesium's 20% base saturation, and the soil chemical structure is starting to feel a little bit tighter. You're not feeling like everything's just running through there like there's nothing there. That's when you can start to look at things like gypsum, which is going to be, calcium and sulfur, essentially. That's going to be critical as well to make sure that you do have enough calcium there for not only chemical structure of the soil, but also plant growth in the future. So that's the way I would handle that, guys. And if we can go through this again if more people are interested. On a heavy soil, how would I handle those amendments? That would be my tips for Jared, and for others, if they're interested in a light soil, low pH, low CEC, how are you going to get that fixed? Make sure that we're picking the right limestone so that we're making sure that we're altering pH and base saturations with one application. Get outside, enjoy the outdoors, guys, and check us out at vitalizedseed.com. Thank you for everybody who's following along.